What's good, YouTube? Quinn Way basketball analysis coming to you with a more random video. This is another underrated player, a player that don't get that much talk, a player that all the hardcore fans know who he is. But this is a guy that this is gonna sound kind of crazy, but I'm gonna be honest. I don't play NBA 2K anymore, but when I played NBA 2K with the Raptors, Jonas Valanciunas was like amazing because he always set the screen. He rolls to the basket. If he didn't roll to the basket, I can dump it off to him at the mid range, knock down the mid range. He was a solid free throw shooter. He gets a lot of tip ins and dunks. He was like a perfect role player, especially for the big man position because he didn't need the ball. He can score, like I said, with tip ins and dunks, and he can knock down easy jumpers and finish around the rim. He can post up if you need him to, but they prefer not to post him up because a lot of players that's big now. Nobody really post up as much as back in the day, even in the 2000s, early 2000s, even in the 90s, in the 80s. It was more post play than it is now. Now it's more perimeter. But Jonas Valanciunas, I just want to make a quick video about him. I got a lot of Toronto fans, and I don't really talk about them that much, and they've been having great seasons the last couple of years. And, they gave Jonas a contract extension. We all felt like, once they had Damari, they was going to have to let somebody go. They ended up letting Damari go, which we didn't really see coming because, Josiah, as soon as the free agency started, he flew out to get Damari to get that paper signed, and he ended up being a bust for them because his knees went out, and then they had to get rid of him. But they were so excited to add him; they thought he was the missing piece, a guy that can play D, shoot the three, and he was continually to get better. He continued to get better, but Jonas has been that one guy that I feel like failed all of us. They gave him that extent. They drafted him. He's shown that he can be a starter in this league, and I still think he is a starter in this league. And he continued to improve, and he was a guy with a ceiling that we thought would be, you know, potential like borderline all star. I'm not saying we thought he was going to be a superstar. I'm not saying people thought he was going to be a franchise player, but he had gifts, the soft touch, the finesse, the right mentality. He does what he has to do to help the team win. And like I said, he had some games when he done went for 20. He had some games when he had dominated, even recently against the Cavs and stuff. He punished the smaller defenders. He showed that he can post up. He showed that he can score. They don't run a lot of plays for Jonas. They don't run a lot of plays for him. They don't give him the ball that much because they rely a lot up on DeMar DeRozan, creating shots for himself and for other players. Plus, he takes a lot of shots in general. And you got Kyle Lowry, who took less shots along with DeMar. They ain't averaging as much as they usually do for a more team-centric offense. But Jonas, before they got Damari Carroll, why I brought that up was he was supposed to be that guy that was developing and getting better, and he had so much potential. And he's only 25, so I'm not gonna say like he still can't do it, but he's only 25. But he had the whole world in front of him. And DeMar, he was a guy that got drafted. Like I said, he was a project. He continued to develop, and now he's an All NBA player and an All Star. And it was around the same time Jonas was there. But obviously DeMar has became the best player on the roster for the last couple of years. I don't even think it was a debate whether Kyle Lowry or DeMar DeRozan who was better. I always thought it was DeMar DeRozan because every time Kyle Lowry got injured, DeMar DeRozan would carry the team to above 500 record with or without him. I'm not saying that DeMar DeRozan don't need him, but I'm just saying DeMar DeRozan showed that he can carry a team multiple times throughout the last 5 years. And even now, it's a little injuries and they still on a winning pace. But Jonas has been a big disappointment, guys. I know a lot of Raptors fans know this. And I was a guy, like I said, playing on 2K when I played with the Raptors. He did all the dirty work. He did all the buckets. In the game, he had 20 to 25 points just because DeMar and Kyle Lowry take so much attention off of him. He gets easy buckets. And it's kind of like when Serge Ibaka, he's on the roster too. Jonas is not really known as a rim protector. You add in a guy that can switch, long, athletic, can cover a lot of space, can rotate in as a help defender, and that can give some rim protection, something that, Jonas is a big body. He's got mobile feet, but he's not a defender, and adding Serge really helped him out. Plus the fact that Serge can stretch out the floor and give him some space. And with Kyle Lowry being a 3-point shooter, OG being a 3-point shooter, even DeMar DeRozan shooting decent from the three, but he can always get the ball off the dribble and make a play for Jonas anyway, even if he don't shoot the three. But Jonas has been the biggest disappointment besides Damari Carroll. I put Damari Carroll above Jonas Valanciunas, but he's 25 years old. He still can play. Maybe he needs to go to a different team, which I said a couple years ago. Just like Jahlil Okafor, he's doing a lot better playing in Brooklyn than he did in Philly, even though he's getting limited minutes. They're utilizing him the way he wants to be utilized, and he's getting the touches, that he wants. Obviously, you know, Jaleel wants more than that because he wants to be a starter. He has goals of being one of the best players in the league. We're going to see if he's going to be able to reach that. But Jonas is a guy that I'm very disappointed. I thought that he would have been far along better by now. And the fact that they gave him an extension that lets you know that they wanted him to be around this team. They wanted to continue to build with him, Lowry and DeRozan, and they felt like he can be their center. Even though it is hard to find good centers that's really good at starting, especially ones that can knock down free throws and rebound. That's another thing. He's not really dominating rebounding like I thought he would. He's always getting offensive rebounds, something that's important. And he's still averaging his career high is 3.1 offensive rebounds. He's still giving you 2 offensive rebounds a game, but he's only giving you 5 to 6 defensive rebounds, and you have to get more than that. I understand that they got more size, and they have Serge Ibaka down there, who's not really known as an elite rebounder either, though. Um, Jonas has really fallen off, and he's only getting 20 minutes a game. That can be your argument, but even when he got more minutes. His career high was 28 minutes. He only averaged 11 points. And this year he's averaging 20 minutes, but he's still averaging 11 points. Jonas' career high was only 12.8 points a game. And obviously, giving a person that you gave $80 million to and you're only going to give them 20 minutes is terrible. But I just wanted to ask the question to my fans and the people that's watching. What do you guys think about Jonas Valanciunas before I wrap up the video? Do you think he's a bust? Do you think he could have been better? Do you think they should trade him? Do you think he need a fresh start? Do you think he can dominate a game? He doesn't show potential even in the playoffs that he can post up, he can dominate, get to the free throw line. He has good footwork and he works his ass off. When it goes to offensive rebounding, getting putbacks and dunks, those are skill sets. Soft touch is something that you want on a big man. And like I said, he's a guy that doesn't need the plays. He doesn't mope. He doesn't whine. He just goes there and does what he has to do to help the team win, whether if it's taking less shots one game, taking more shots the next game, or even crashing the defensive boards. And, even sometimes just setting hard screens to get DeMar and Kyle Lowry open good looks for a couple seconds because he is a big body. Seeing his minutes go down is a little disappointed, like I said, because of the extension, and seeing that they're still winning without him really contributing the way that we thought he would show you that that's how good this Raptor team is. They just couldn't get over the LeBron James of the league. This is LeBron time. He is getting older, but you got to start making moves to beat him because you never know. Kyle Lowry's in his 30s. DeMar DeRozan close to his 30s. And, you're getting young players to take pressure off them, but you want to win as many championships as you can. You want to be a contender as long as you can, especially in the East where you only really have to beat one team, which is the Cavs. If you beat the Cavs, you get out of the playoffs. No team is tougher than the Cavs. No team has beat the Cavs in the last couple years. And same with the Heat. If you beat the Heat, you get into the finals. If you can beat that LeBron James, Dwayne Wade team, you should be able to get to the finals. That's how tough that team was to beat. And he went to Cleveland, and this team is tough to beat for the last couple years. But, Jonas has been a disappointment. I always vouched for him. I always gave him shout outs. I always said he can be better. I always said don't give up on him. I'm not saying I'm giving up on him, but I'm saying he has disappointed. And I just want to know, what do you guys think? Like I said, let me know in the comment section below. Do you think he's a bust? Did he fall off? Is he a disappointment? Do we need a fresh start? Whatever you guys think, I just want to know. It's hilarious, though, to see a guy with this much potential and to get paid $80 million for the next couple years, and they in a situation where they want to make a run for the championship now. Kyle Lowry can't stay healthy. You need somebody to give DeMar DeRozan some help. They tried to get PJ. They tried to get Serge Ibaka. You know, and they haven't turned this team into a contender. They already is a contender. They haven't turned them into a team that can beat the Cavs still. So they're gonna need somebody to help them out in these playoff series. And Jonas has shown that he can do it, but he hasn't been able to do it consistently. And that's the difference between a great player and a good player. And that's what he has been. He's just been a solid player, a starter, and that's about it. He never got no better than that. But I'm kind of disappointed because he had the abilities, he had the skill set, he had the mindset to be better. Maybe it's the coaching, maybe he just didn't have it, maybe he just don't want it enough, or maybe he just don't have the respect of his teammates. Let me know what you guys think about Jonas Valanciunas in the comment section below. If you're on YouTube, check out my website at analysisplayground.com. Also check out my Facebook page at analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the comment section and the description below. Also, if you're on Twitter, my YouTube account will be pinned on my Twitter, and also my website will be in the description of my Twitter. And if you're on Facebook, my YouTube account will be pinned to my Facebook. And also check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description of my Facebook. I'm gone. Let me know what you guys think about Jonas Valanciunas. And that's all I got to say today. See y'all tomorrow.